Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachanam pangam langyate girim yakrupatamam vande Shri Gurudinataranam Paramanandam Madhavam. When we had discussed about Rupa Goswami, we discussed a little bit about his lineage. So we'll not repeat that again because they're brothers; they have the same uh, lineage. Sanatan Goswami was born in on 1488, and um, there were many siblings, but three of them are famous. So when they were born, their name was Santosh, Amar, and Vallabh, and that was their birth name. From uh, from a young age, Santosh, who later on became Sanatan Goswami, uh, all three brothers, but Santosh, Amar, and Vallabh especially were very spiritually inclined. They were uh, very bright. So it is said that Santosh was sent to study from the local school, and in a very short period of time, the teacher said, "I have nothing to teach him," because he learned things very quickly. And later on, he actually studied under the famous Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So we know that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the one who instructed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 3 days on the Bhagavatam. And he later on became one of the very dear associates of Mahaprabhu. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the foremost of the scholars at the time. He was instrumental in establishing Puri as the center of the Gauda Desh, actually Puri, but the Gauda Desh as the center of learning. Because prior to that, it was Patliputra, and there that was the center of learning. And at that time, they did not allow the books to be, there was no printing press, but they did not allow the books to be copied. And Sarvabhauma had an photographic memory, had an eidetic memory. So he would go and read the book and then come home, and then from memory he would write it down. And in this way, he basically transcribed most of the library books by reading and writing. And then he moved to Jagannath Puri, and then he established his reading center. He was actually the court appointed foremost of instructing spiritual leaders there. So obviously he would not take anybody as a student, but he had Santosh and Amar as the students. And Sarvabhauma's brother Vidya Vachaspati was also famous logician, and later on he also became a staunch devotee of Mahaprabhu. He also instructed Santosh. So when they were very young, their fame was actually widespread, not only because of their erudition, but also because of their saintly characters, their lineage. So they were very famous in their area. The place where they stayed in was under the dominion of Hussein Shah. Hussein Shah was the king of that area, and it so happened that so they stayed in Ramkeli. So it so happened that around that area, once Hussein Shah was getting Maqbara built, and he had some disagreement with with the person, the architect or the construction guy who was building the Maqbara. And those times were different. So Hussein Shah's way of expressing his disagreement was that he killed him. And then after he killed him, he realized that now he does not have anybody to build. So he had another soldier by the name of Hinga, and he called Hinga, and he said, look, this person was doing the construction. I got upset at him and killed him. Now it's your responsibility. You need to make sure that the construction goes through. Now Hinga became understandably very concerned because he knew that if he doesn't come through, Hussein Shah will probably kill him. So he started looking around for help. And then the locals said that go and talk to Santosh. He's smart. So Hinga found Santosh and went and talked to him and said that this is what Hussein Shah wants to do. I have no clue what to do. Can you help me? And then Santosh said, yeah, no problem. So he gave him the architectural designs. He gave him how much material he will need. He also told him where to procure the materials, where to get the laborers with different specialities. That person to work on marble you can get from here, mason you can get from here. So Hinga was happy. So he took this whole construction document and went back to Hussein Shah and said, this is what we'll do. So Hussein Shah looked at it and said, look, I know you. There's no way that you could have done this. So who have you hidden that is helping you? The Hinga came clean. He said, actually, there is this Brahman boy in the Ramkeli village, and he helped me. So Hussein Shah said, go and get him. So he went and he fetched Santosh. So in talking to Santosh, Hussein Shah could understand his erudition, his intelligence. And as a king, he's always looking for somebody to help him manage the kingdom. So he said that you are my prime minister. So Santosh said, I have no desire to become your prime minister. So he says, okay, if you don't become my prime minister, I will come to your village and kill all the Brahmins over there. So now Santosh was between a rock and a hard place, and reluctantly he agreed to take on that role. And then Hussein Shah also found out about his two other brothers, and he said, same ploy. He said that you either accept the post or I will start troubling the Brahmins. So then his younger brother Amar, he made him the finance minister, and he gave some role, I think a treasurer role to Vallabh. So when he gave them a court position, he said, well, now that you are part of my family, you need to get appropriate names. So Santosh became Sakar Malik. Sakar Malik is prime minister. And Amar became Dabir Khas, which is the finance minister. And then he said that, you should grow a beard, shave off your mustache, start wearing the Muslim cap, dress like that, because you're part of our family. So that's what they started doing. They adopted the vesh of Muslims, and then they started serving Hussein Shah. And they were so efficient in what they did that Hussein Shah left practically the running of the whole kingdom to the three brothers, and he was busy conquering and attacking neighboring kingdoms. His main enmity was with Maharaj Prataparudra, but Maharaj Prataparudra, at least at that time, was much too powerful for him. So he would attack, and Maharaj Prataparudra would come and beat him back. But he was doing this incursions. Later on, Maharaj Prataparudra was attacked from two sides. From the southern side by Krishna Devara, who was a very powerful king. And he was the one actually who defeated Maharaj Pratapurudra. He kidnapped the wife of Maharaj Pratapurudra and later on killed her. And uh, yeah, and when Maharaj Pratapurudra was busy fighting with him, then Hussain Shah came in, and he took a big chunk of the land. But at this point, Hussain Shah was was considerably weaker than the king. But still, he was that was his main thing, to try and expand. So while they were serving, the brothers were serving Hussain Shah in this way, they were also troubled from within, because uh, this is not what they wanted to do. Now Hussain Shah in a way was liberal, that other than making them change their dress, etc., he did not question their religious practices. So they continued to practice as Brahmins, and Hussain Shah knew about it, was okay. But still, the brothers were very uncomfortable being a part of it, specifically because one of the things that Hussain Shah, which most of the Muslim rulers did, was desecration of temples. And in a way, the brothers considered themselves to be implicated in it, because while they were not doing it themselves, they were supporting the person who was doing it. So that made them very, very troubled. So one day, Santosh, or Sakar Malik, he had a dream. And in the dream, he saw an effulgent sannyasi. And when he got up, that image stayed with him. So then he went to Rupa Goswami and he started talking about his dream. And then Rupa Goswami said, I have had exactly the same dream. I also saw an effulgent personality. And I think that this person is none other than Lord Chaitanya. And then he told him that there is this personality who has appeared not very far from us, who is preaching this philosophy of pure devotional service, and he has taken the whole Gaudadesh by storm. So both the brothers became very, very absorbed in their understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this was a time when information was not that freely available, but this is what their conception was. So they became very absorbed. So their mother, noticing them in this way, she advised them that you find out where he lives, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then you write a letter to him and see what his advice to you is. So they were resourceful. They were obviously in positions of power. So somehow were able to find the address of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then they started writing letters to him, talking about their situation, the internal struggles. And initially they did not get a response, but they continued to write. And then Mahaprabhu, he finally responded, and he responded with an indirect instruction through an analogy. And the example that he gave is that when a married woman has a paramour or a lover on the side, then she serves her husband with greater attention, with greater focus, while internally meditating on a paramour. So the brothers understood that right now Mahaprabhu's desire is that they should continue in the jobs and give it their best. So they did that. They continued on the job, and they did not give Hussain Shah any cause to complain. After some time, they found out that Mahaprabhu was actually coming to their village of Ramakeli. And this pastime is interesting because this is Mahaprabhu wanting to go to Vrindavan. So Ramkeli is not on the way to Vrindavan. It's a detour. But the acharyas say that going to Vrindavan was just an excuse. The Lord wanted to meet his devotees. So he said, I'm going to Vrindavan. Thousands of people started following him. And he went to Ramakeli and camped over there. And when the two brothers heard about Mahaprabhu coming, they rushed to meet him. And it was a joyous meeting. Even though they were meeting for the first time, being eternal associates of Mahaprabhu, it was a joyous meeting. Mahaprabhu embraced them. So at this time, Sanatan Goswami was 26 years of age. Mahaprabhu was 28 years of age. He's 2 years older than Sanatan Goswami. So he had taken sannyas when he was 24 years. And then after that 2 years, he had gone on his South India yatra. And then 2 years, he was staying in Jagannath Puri. So then he had also the desire to go to Vrindavan, and then he detoured over to Ramakeli. So Sanatan Goswami was 26 years old at the time, and Rupa Goswami was 21 years at the time. So the two brothers met Mahaprabhu, and they had a wonderful conversation. So as part of that conversation, they also convinced Mahaprabhu to not go to Vrindavan. And they made this point that you have thousands of people following you, and entering Vrindavan in that mode is not the best way. So better for you to somehow go by yourself without all this people. It will disturb the serenity of Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu heard from them. And as Acharya says, Mahaprabhu did not really want to go to Vrindavan. He actually wanted to give his mercy to these two brothers. So he did not go any further from Kanai Nathshala, and he essentially returned to Puri. So when Mahaprabhu left, then before that, he also gave them their spiritual names. So even though Mahaprabhu does not have any disciples, he did not initiate anyone, but these two brothers are considered to be closest to what one would consider to be initiated disciples. That he said that Santosh from this day is Sanatan, and Amar from this day is Rupa, and Vallabh from this day is Anupama. So when Mahaprabhu went back, then the brothers did not think that they can live in separation from him even a moment. So Rupa and Anupam, they left immediately. They were able to leave, and Sanatan Goswami said that you leave, I'll cover for you. So they were able to immediately leave, and we know that they went and met Mahaprabhu in Prayag. Now, in the meantime, Sanatan, he started feigning illness so as to not go to the court. And then he also wanted to absorb himself more and more in the study of the pastimes of Krishna. So one day he had a dream that a young boy came and gave him a Bhagavatam. And next day, his dream actually came true. That a young boy actually came and said, Baba, this is a book that I have gotten for you, which was actually a copy of the Bhagavatam. So Sanatan Goswami was very happy. And then he started reading the Bhagavatam. He started this whole Bhagavat reading sessions. The Brahmins would come, they would read Bhagavatam. Actually, at that time, he was inviting professional readers to read the Bhagavatam because there were no devotees around. But the understanding is, Prabhupada would say that one should not listen from professional readers because they don't present the bhakti aspect of it. They present it more from an enjoyment aspect. But his situation was different. He did not have association of devotees, so he was listening from professional reciters. He himself was reciting. They would have discussion on the Bhagavatam, and he was becoming so absorbed in the Bhagavatam that he had no interest in going to the court. So he would continuously apply for sick leave. And for a while, Hussein Shah was okay because he had a lot of confidence and faith in them. But then, as a king, one of the things he does do is he has his elaborate spy system. So they on everybody, whether somebody is trying to conspire against him. So they went back and reported, and they said he's not sick. He's actually having all these religious functions, and he's enjoying, and he's having long discussions. So Nawab Hussain Shah became very angry, and then he called Sanatan and he says, "Why are you lying to me? But because you have so much of service to me, I will not punish you. Tomorrow onwards, you resume your work." And then he said that, by the way, I have this new plan to attack Jagannath Puri. So I want you to help me in the strategy. You are my prime minister, so I want you to help me strategizing. So now Sanatan came out openly and he said that I cannot and I will not work for you. So the Nawab became angry and he said, are you sure? Are you sure? And he kept saying, I'm sure. He said, okay. He asked the guards and asked him and had him imprisoned. Anybody else, the Nawab would have killed. But because Sanatan was who he was, he still had hopes of somehow redeeming the relationship. So he put him in prison, and then he had to go to deal with some situation. He said, I'll come back and deal with you. So even it's said that the king's putting him in prison was a token. He was because he had so much of regard for Sanatan, he was expecting to come back and free him and reconcile with him. Now, when Sanatan was in the prison and Nawab Hussain was gone, so he understood that this is the only opportunity for him to escape. So when Rupa Goswami had left, and the brothers were fabulously rich because of their position, so when they had decided to renounce everything to serve Mahaprabhu, then Rupa Goswami followed what the scriptures say. Prabhupada would say that we should also follow, that take your wealth and give half of it in charity. Of the remaining that is left, give half of it to your relatives, because it said if you don't give to your relatives, they will curse you. You don't want the curse of your relatives. So give a quarter to the relatives, and a quarter of it you keep for emergencies. So that's what Rupa Goswami had done. He had taken half his wealth, given it to the Brahmins, and quarter of it he had given it to his relatives, and a quarter he left it with a money lender. So that was the banking system at the time. So quarter he left with the money lender, which was 10,000 gold coins. And he sent a note back to Sanatan Goswami saying that there are 10,000 gold coins that have been deposited with this particular banker. So Sanatan Goswami, then he called the person who was guarding him, and he said, you have to let me go, because when Hussein Shah comes back, he'll kill me. The guard says, I don't see any problem with that. That's my duty to guard you. So Sanatan then says, I will give you 7,000 gold coins. So that changed the heart of the guard. He says, okay, I'm listening. So he says, I'll give you 7,000 gold coins, and after you release me, I will become. So right now I'm just a Muslim by wish. So I'm just keeping a beard and all that. But then I will become a real Muslim. And not only will I become a real Muslim, I will go to Mecca. And there I will pray for you and your family. So there will be all auspiciousness for your family. So now the guard was even more convinced. He says, okay, I will let you go. But the problem is that when Nawab Shah comes back, he will kill me. So what will I do with the 7,000 gold coins, and what will I do with your prayers in Mecca? So Sanatan was said, don't worry about it. I have a plan that uh, uh, you tell the king that I was, and he said we will do it, that I was feigning I was ill, and then you were taking me. At that time I said that I had to answer the call of nature, and in order to do that I went to a ghat and I jumped into the water along with all the chains and handcuffs, and then I sunk to the bottom. So you tried to pull me out, you tried to find my body, but you could not. So unfortunately, I died. So the guard was happy. He said, okay, now I'm covered in all ways. My personal safety is taken care of. I have money, and at least Sanatan convinced him that he will spiritually protect him also. So they executed the plan that the guard went to the banker, took 7,000 gold coins, and he allowed Sanatan to escape. So when Sanatan escaped, he went along with his servant Ishan, and he gave him specific instructions that we are going to take shelter of Mahaprabhu. We don't have to take shelter of anything else, which means that we cut off ties from anything. We are going as renunciates. So we don't carry any money with us. We will simply depend on Madhukari for our day-to-day. So we see the strong renunciation quickly manifesting. That one day he is this powerful prime minister living in so much of opulence, and the next day, in the blink of an eye, he is ready to simply live by begging. So Ishan said, yes, that's fine. But Ishan had not developed that level of renunciation. So out of the wealth that Sanatan had, he without the knowledge of Sanatan, he kept 8 gold coins hidden, thinking that they will be helpful in an emergency. So while they were traveling, they took a break and found residence in an inn. So this was in the city of Patad. This is in the current state of Bihar. Now the innkeeper, he had an astrologer, and the astrologer he had the speciality that he could predict how much wealth the people coming to the inn would have. And the innkeeper was essentially he was a dacoit. So the inn was a front. So the astrologer would tell him that this person will have so much money, and if they had enough money, the innkeeper would kill them, they'd take the money and bury the body. So when Sanatan Goswami and Ishan came, the astrologer, he said that they have 8 gold coins with them. So 8 gold coins was a lot of money. So the innkeeper, he's began to take very good care of Sanatan Goswami. So his plan was that he will nicely take care of them, feed them. When they're sleeping, kill them and take the gold coin. So when the innkeeper was being so attentive, Sanatan, being extremely intelligent, he understood the intentions of the innkeeper, that he's planning to steal from us. So then he asked Ishan that, are you carrying any wealth with you? So Ishan said, yes, I'm carrying 7 gold coins. So even though he was carrying 8 gold coins, he lied and he said, I'm carrying 7 gold coins. So Sanatan said, give me the 7 gold coins. So he took the 7 gold coins, went to the innkeeper, and on his own, he said that, I'm very pleased with the way that you are taking care of us and helping us. This is the entire wealth that we have, but I want you to have it. So here are the 7 gold coins. So the innkeeper was very happy. He says, my astrologer told me you had 8 coins, but maybe his calculation was a little here and there. But thank you so much for giving 7 coins. And he became clean. He said, I was trying to kill you to steal the coins. But I'm very happy that you have you have saved me from performing this crime. So he said, how can I help you? And Sanatan Goswami says that you just help us to we are on our way to Vrindavan, so just help us to get on our way. So the innkeeper, being a local of that area, he knew the local paths and all that, because Hussain Shah had Sanatan was expecting that people of Hussain Shah may still be looking for him, but he told him all the back roads and all that, and then he left. So while on his way to Vrindavan, Sanatan Goswami, he parted company with Ishan. He said that he asked Ishan that, you still have 1 gold coin? He said yes. And then he said that clearly our moods don't match. I'm wanting to live a life of renunciation. You are living a life of a grahastha, one who tries to hoard. So you take that gold coin, it's yours, but you go on your way. So Ishan left the company of Sanatan and went him. And Sanatan Goswami, now he went to the ghat and he exchanged his opulent clothings for very, very meager clothings. He got one chadar, and then he tore it into 3 pieces. One was for his dhoti, one was for his uttara, and one was for his kopin. And it was old and tattered. So in a very simple state, he continued with his journey. And while he was continuing on the way, he went to the house of Shrikant, who was his brother-in-law. So Shrikant, he tried to convince Santosh that you please stay here, that you're now outside the kingdom of Hussain Shah, so you don't have to worry about him. You can stay here, pursue your religious, spiritual desires. But Sanatan was firm. He says, I have to go to Vrindavan. So he left, and because it was cold, Shrikant gave him a gift of a woolen blanket. And because Shrikant himself was very rich, so he gave him a very opulent blanket, and Sanatan accepted it. So while Sanatan was heading to Vrindavan, he stopped at Varanasi or Kasi, and there, to his great delight, he found out that Mahaprabhu also happened to be staying in Kashi at the time. So he asked around, and then quickly he found that Mahaprabhu was staying in the house of Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar. So he went to their house and then sat outside. He did not enter the house. But Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, he knew that Sanatan, my devotee Sanatan, had come. So he asked Chandrasekhar that there is a exalted Vaishnav sitting outside your house. You go and fetch him in with utmost respect. Chandrasekhar said, okay. And he rushed out of the house. He looked around, no Vaishnav. So there was just one, because Sanatan was still in his vesh of a Muslim. He said, all I see, he just saw this fakir sitting with a torn dhoti uh, and with his blanket. So he looked at him, looked away, looked around for Vaishnav, somebody with a shikha and tilak. Said, no. Mahaprabhu said, okay, I'll go out. So he went out, went straight to Sanatan Goswami and forcibly embraced him. So, Sanatan Goswami was ecstatic that he had direct association with his Lord. So Mahaprabhu asked him to cut off his hair and beard, and he offered clothes. Chandrasekhar offered clothes to Sanatan, but Sanatan refused. He said, they're too opulent for me. So on the instructions of Mahaprabhu, he went, he got rid of his beard and hair, kept a shikha, and now he was simply dressed as a Vaishnava mendicant. So he came back and Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him. But Sanatan noticed that Mahaprabhu kept glancing at the blanket that he had. Now, Sanatan had kept it because of some attachment to his brother-in-law. But the blanket was nevertheless a very opulent blanket. And Sanatan understood the mind of Mahaprabhu. So he went out, he went to a ghat, and there he saw a poor Vaishnav who was cleaning his clothes, and he said, you have this chadar that is all torn and it has all these holes in it, and you have tried to stitch it. Why don't you exchange this with the blanket that I have? So first the Vaishnava said, are you joking? This is an expensive blanket. My chadar is going to fall apart at any time. But Sanatan insisted, and Vaishnava was happy, so they exchanged. So now Sanatan Goswami came back, and Mahaprabhu, he was happy to see this renunciation. So Sanatan stayed in Varanasi with Mahaprabhu for 2 months. And in those 2 months, Mahaprabhu, he instructed Sanatan Goswami on Sambandha. So we know that Sanatan Goswami is the Sambandhacharya of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Just like Rupa Goswami is the Acharya for Abhiday. And that's because of the way that Mahaprabhu instructed the brothers. That when he was instructing Rupa Goswami in Prayag, he was instructing him in how to execute devotional service. And when he was instructing Sanatan Goswami in Varanasi, he was instructing him on the essence of the relationship of the jiva with the personality of Godhead, the identity of the jiva. So after 2 months, Mahaprabhu, he left Varanasi to go to Puri. Sanatan Goswami wanted to accompany him, but Mahaprabhu said, best for you to continue to Vrindavan. So Sanatan now traveled to Vrindavan, and by the time he reached Vrindavan, he found out that Rupa Goswami, so the plan was for the brothers to meet at Vrindavan. So he found out that Rupa Goswami had left Vrindavan and had gone to Puri to meet Mahaprabhu. So because Sanatan was feeling separation from his brothers and separation from Mahaprabhu, so very quickly he also left Vrindavan and started traveling to Puri. So those days, of course, all travel was mostly by foot or by bullock. And Sanatan was traveling through the jungles. In his haste to travel, and because he was traveling off the beaten path, he drank contaminated water somehow. And because of that, he contracted an infection. And that infection manifested as sores on eczema sores on his body. And the sores became so bad that they began to ooze pus and blood. So in this really painful and pitiable condition, his whole body smeared with blood and pus, Sanatan reached Puri. And when he reached Puri, then he got this news that his younger brother Anupam had passed away, and Rupa had actually already left back for Vrindavan. So Sanatan was in such bad health that he was in no position to travel. So he accepted and stayed in the house of the famous Haridas Thakur. Because even though Rupa and Sanatan are Brahmins, but because they had served Nawab Hussain Shah, they were not allowed entry into Jagannath Puri. So they were very strict. Now they're a little bit lenient that as if you're a Hindu or look like a Hindu, they let you go in. But at that time, even if you were associating with non-Hindus, they would not let you go in. For instance, they did not let Indira Gandhi enter, even though she was Brahmin by birth, but because she was married to Parsi, they did not let her enter, and she was the prime minister of the country. So Sanatan Goswami, and he himself did not consider qualified to go there. So he was living with Haridas Thakur, and it turned out to be the best thing, because Mahaprabhu, he would go in the morning, take darshan, get Mahaprasad from Puri. On the way back, he would stop, and he would stop at the house of Haridas Thakur. And by his own hands, he would give both Sanatan Goswami and Haridas Thakur Prasad. So Sanatan Goswami, even though he was in physical discomfort, he was getting association of Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. He was getting Jagannath Prasad delivered by the hands of the personality of Godhead. And he was getting daily association with Mahaprabhu. The only problem was that his body continued to deteriorate. And Sanatan was renounced enough that he did not really consider that as a problem. The problem was that whenever Mahaprabhu came to meet him, he would embrace Sanatan. And Sanatan would try to run away, saying that my body is covered with all this filth. And when you embrace me, it all goes on your transcendental body. But Mahaprabhu would not listen to him. He would come and he would embrace him. So Sanatan felt so bad about it that he said that because of me, my Lord's body is being defiled on a daily basis. So what is the point in keeping this body that is not serving my Lord? So it also happened to be the time of that the Rath Yatra time was coming. So then he made this decision that when the cart will come, I will go under the wheels of the cart and commit suicide. And this was something that was quite prevalent actually, that people would try to commit suicide under the carts, wheels of the carts, and with the understanding that they will get a spiritual body. But Mahaprabhu was omniscient. He knew this desire of Sanatan Goswami. So he came to him and he said that how can you act like a thief? And Sanatan Goswami said that, what do you mean? What did I steal? And he says that if you are trying to take something that does not belong to you, then you are a thief. Your body belongs to me, and now you're trying to destroy your body. So that makes you a thief. So Sanatan Goswami broke down and he said, but I can't stand the fact that how it is, how my body is causing this contamination on you. Mahaprabhu says, whatever it is, you should understand your body is for me to use however I want to. And then once more he forcibly embraced Sanatan Goswami. And just by the force of that embrace, Sanatan Goswami was immediately cured. All the pores on his body, the pus, the blood, all that went away, and he was fully revitalized. So in this way, Sanatan Goswami, he lived for a year in Puri, serving Mahaprabhu. He got a lot of association from Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, the two closest associates of Mahaprabhu there. A lot of instructions from Mahaprabhu on Sambandha. Yeah. And then Mahaprabhu, he instructed Sanatan Goswami that now you should go back to Vrindavan. he gave 4 instructions to Sanatan Goswami, very similar to the instructions he gave to Rupa Goswami. One, he said, is that you write the books on the process of devotion, the teachings of Bhakti Yoga. Second, he said, is you discover and excavate the places in Vrindavan where Krishna and Radharani had their pastimes. Third, he says, is that you establish the service of the deities of Krishna and Vrindavan, essentially establish temples. And fourth, he said, was you compile a book that establishes the proper behavior of the devotees of Krishna in order to create a foundation for a Vaishnav society. So he gave these 4 instructions to Sanatan Goswami and he sent him back to Vrindavan. So when Sanatan Goswami went back to Vrindavan, he along with his brother Rupa Goswami and there were other very advanced Vaishnavas that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had sent, Lokanath Goswami, Bhubar Goswami. Along with them, they basically re-established the position of Vrindavan. So Sanatan Goswami, who was known as he became famous as Sanatan Baba, because even though he was young in age, but he was very mature in his understanding. So even to this day, when it is Sanatan Goswami's disappearance day, the Vaishnava women in Vrindavan, they keep their hair untied. They keep their hair open to show mourning, because they considered Sanatan as their father. And Sanatan actually would take that role on, that he would preach to the families there. He would talk to them about what is the best crop to plant, or what education that you should give to your children. He would resolve family disputes over there. So there are many interesting pastimes of Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, and I'll speak about 2 of them. One of them is famous because it led to the establishment of the Madan Mohan temple. That Sanatan Goswami was once sitting, and there was a merchant by the name of Ramdas Kapoor, and he had a ship that was full of salt that he was taking to the eastern part of India to trade. And it got stuck in a sandbar because the water was not very high. And he became frantic what to do, because he understood that if the ship stays there, then it will be plundered. Pirates will come and plunder it, and he will lose all his wealth. So he came down from the ship, went to the land and asked people for help. And they said that, not sure how to help you, but there is a famous Babaji by the name of Sanatan. Maybe he can help you. So Sanatan was at that time sitting in Dashamegh Ghat, Tila. And Ramdas Kapoor came to him and said, this is the problem. So he said, what can I help you? You pray to Krishna. Both of us will pray to Krishna. So they both prayed to Krishna, and that night it rained. And then it rained so much that the level of the water went up and the ship became freed. So the merchant was so grateful, he said, whatever profit that I will make from this, I will give in donation to you. And Sanatan Goswami said, yes, we will build a temple. Now, Sanatan Goswami had a small deity of Madan Mohan. And the deity also had a very interesting relationship with Sanatan Goswami, that the deity was actually being served by a Brahmin by the name of Chaube. And in another because we can speak for almost an hour on Madan Mohan. So in another discussion, we'll speak more about the pastimes of Madan Mohan. But Madan Mohan appeared in a dream of Chaube, and he says that I want to be worshipped by Sanatan. He came in a dream of Sanatan and said, I want to be worshipped by you. So in this way, Madan Mohan came in the possession of Sanatan, and he was worshipping very simply. So when Ramdas Kapoor came, then we said that you take shelter of Madan Mohan, he'll help you. At that time, the deity's name was Madan Gopal. So he said, he'll help you. So when Ramdas said that I will donate all my profit, we said we will use it to build this temple. So it so happened that when the merchant sold his goods, he made very good profit. And he became so much influenced by the purity of Sanatan and the deity that not only the profit, but all the proceeds from the trade, he donated to Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami used it to build the first temple in Vrindavan. So it's still there in Vrindavan. It's called the Prachin Madan Mohan. It's made from red sandstone and 7-story high. So the temple was so opulent that Aurangzeb became envious of the temple, and he had the temple broken down, but not completely. But that was the first temple that was built, and Madan Mohan was established there. And then later on, they were different temples. So Madan Mohan is considered, because Sanatan Goswami is the Acharya for Sambandhagyan. Madan Mohan is also the presiding deity for Sambandhagyan. And Rupa Goswami is the Acharya for Abhiday. And the Govinda Dev deity that he established, that is the presiding deity for Abhiday. And the third deity is Gopinath, which was established by Madhu Pandit. The deity is the presiding deity for Prayojan. So Sambandh is establishing relationship, Abhiday is living in that relationship, and Prayojan is enjoying the fruits of the relationship. So Madhu Pandit established Gopinath, and the presiding Acharya is actually Raghunath Das, not Madhu Pandit. Raghunath Das is the presiding Acharya, but the deity was Madhu Pandit's deity there. Also, once there was a Brahmin who was a very staunch follower of Lord Shiva, but he was very, very poor. So he kept worshipping Lord Shiva. Please help me, get me some money, give me some money. So once Lord Shiva came in his dream and said that you go to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there is a Baba by the name of Sanatan. And you ask him to help you for wealth. Brahman said, okay. So he went to Vrindavan, asked for Sanatan Baba. He was famous, went to Sanatan and said, Lord Shiva came in my dream and said that you could help me get wealth. Sanatan said, yes, if Lord Shiva said, I will help you get wealth. He says, you look at that dustbin close by. So in the dustbin, there is a money. It's a Parasar money. So Parasar money has this capability that if you touch it to iron, the iron becomes gold. So there is this money, and you can use it. You touch it and it becomes gold, and you can use that gold. So Brahman was very happy that I have now unlimited wealth. So he took the Parasar money, he gave obeisance to Sanatan, and he went. Now the Brahman was a greedy person. He started thinking that person, he so easily let me take this invaluable treasure, which means that he has something more valuable. So why should I settle for something that is second tier? I'll go back to him and ask for his real treasure. So the Brahman went back to Sanatan Goswami and he said that you let me take this money so easily, so you have something more expensive. So give me that. Sanatan said, I will give it to you on the condition that you first throw this into the Yamuna river. So the Brahman did not hesitate. He took their Parashan money and he threw it into the Yamuna river. He said, now you tell me what your treasure is. And Sanatan Goswami, he pointed to Madan Mohan. He said, that is my real treasure. And the Brahman his heart opened to bhakti. He became a fixed pure devotee of Krishna, understanding that compared to Krishna bhakti, all these treasures are meaningless. Many other pastimes of Sanatan Goswami, and we don't have time, but Sanatan Goswami lived for a long time in Vrindavan. He lived until the age of 70, till 1558, and by his influence, Vrindavan was re-established. He was considered as the guru of the six Goswamis, not the Diksha Guru, but just the leading personality. His brother Rupa considered himself as a disciple. Jiva considered himself as a disciple of it. And he wrote according to the instructions of Mahaprabhu. He wrote Hari Bhakti Vilas. So Hari Bhakti Vilas is very, very detailed instructions on Vaishnava Acharya, Vaishnava Achar, that how to worship the deity, how to sleep, how to eat, how to get up, how to have marriage conducted. Very, very detailed instructions. And he wrote it as notes, and he compiled it, and he gave it to Raghunath Bhatt, I think. So Raghunath Bhatt Goswami actually then took it, and he compiled it and made it a book. And Hari Bhakti Vilas is considered to be the handbook for Vaishnavas. So I'll stop here, and if you have any discussions, any thoughts anybody would want to share, we can do it now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, that was another pastime Shivani is talking about, that when Sanatan Goswami became old, so he had this habit of doing parikrama of Govardhan every day. And when he became old, it became difficult for his body. So then Krishna came to him and said that you stop doing this parikrama, it's okay. And Sanatan said, you're the personality of Godhead, but still, I consider this to be my sadhana, daily worship, parikrama, worship of Govardhan by doing parikrama, so I can't give it. So then Krishna, he took a Govardhan Shila, and he placed his lotus feet on the Shila, and the Shila melted around his feet, and he placed his flute also. And he said, this is non-different from Govardhan. So if you circumambulate this, it is like circumambulating Govardhan. So then that's what Sanatan Goswami would do. He would circumambulate it 4 times, according to some 7 times. So the Shila is still there in the Radha Damodar temple, actually. And if you give the priest some money, he will get the Shila out. You can take darshan of the Shila. So it's maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 feet long. You can see the footprint of Krishna. You can see the impression of the flute. You can also see actually a cow print, a hoof print of a cow. And when devotees go to, and the Shila is worshipped along, is there on the altar. So devotees, when they go there, there's a parikrama around the temple. So they take, according to some 4, according to some 7. I always do 7. So you do 7 parikramas out there, and then you not only circumambulate Govardhan, you circumambulate the deities, also you circumambulate the samadhis. So a lot of Vaishnava samadhis are over there. So you also circumambulate the samadhis there. So yeah, so that's another pastime linked with Sanatan Goswami. Thank you for pointing it out, Shivani.
Haribol, Guruji, very beautiful. Guruji, what do acharyas say about, it amazes me that Krishna himself is in this world, and how can you stay away? It's like they, Gornitai being in Jagannath and they being in Vrindavan and knowing that he's there. The whole separation.
It's a good it's a good question, and at least when you're at that level of advancement, then the understanding is that association is primarily in service. Physical association is considered to be um, a substantively lower form of association. The superior form of association is that in service. So when Krishna was personally present, then so many people had personal association with him. Even demons. Duryodhana had so much personal association of Krishna, and so many of the Kauravas, Jarasan, etc. Did not do anything for them, right? They continued to be demons. They died. They basically went on to their own karmic path. But then you see there are devotees of Krishna who had very very little personal association with him, and they were able to make so much of. They were able to get so much of mercy. So at that level of advancement, that Rupa Sanatan Goswami, they understand this tattva at experiential level. So their primary mode of service to the Lord was in following his instructions. And then it is said that, and like I said, there are many other pastimes that are there, how Krishna was personally present, came personally and met them. So when you're serving Krishna in service, then Krishna is truly with you all the time. And they actually were able to experience that mercy there.
Haribol, I think it's beyond me to understand that, but it's amazing.
Yes, true. Okay, so if there are no question comments, we can unmute ourselves and we will chant one round of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Rama Rama
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I ask you one quick question? Why do they not celebrate Ekadashi in Jagannath Puri?
Why do they not celebrate Ekadashi?
Hmm.
I wasn't aware of that they don't celebrate Ekadashi. In fact, I think there are, at least I know, there are pastimes where, I mean, the Lord is offered prasadam because he doesn't have to follow Ekadashi. Understanding is the devotees put. Does anybody else know about it?
I heard that from Nitai Sevni Mataji. So I don't know if there was a pastime or something. So I was curious.
Yes, maybe Sachijivan Prabhu would know. Sachijivan Prabhu is there? Okay. I'll find out. I'll try and find out. Okay. So Sunil Prabhu, you are doing Narsinghdev prayer?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for doing it, Prabhu. Please start.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalad Hiranyakasi Purvaktaha Silatanka Nafalaye Ito Narsima Parato Narsima Yato Yato Yamini Tato Narsima Hey Narsima Hridaye Narsima Narsimha Madim Saranam Prapade Avakara Kamalavare Nyakam